We are the UAMB.
Awesome. We are the UAMB. We are the only ones.
No, this is it. This is the whole thing.
This is the whole band.
I'm Elliot, and I play sousaphone and/or tuba, and I am a senior.
I'm Abby. I'm a freshman, and I play the crash cymbals.
I'm Carly. I'm a junior, and I play trombone.
I'm Becca. I'm a sophomore, and I play the clarinet.
I'd say the goal of band camp is to get us all ready and get a head start on the season, because we learn our first show there, and we basically also learn pregame, which are two very essential things, because you want to start the season off on the right foot.
Yeah, and also, at least coming from a freshman perspective, it was really nice to just kind of to meet everybody and to be able to just kind of get acclimated into that environment, because, walking in there, and then by the end of the week I had so many friends that I just didn't know before.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to meet the freshmen and get to know your section better, even if you've known these people for 2-3 years. You're still learning new things about them and becoming better friends. And of course, all the marching stuff, you have to learn that. Yeah, and pregame. We seem to have a new one every year, so we have to go learn the new pregame every year.
Yeah, and on top of that, I get to learn a bunch of cadences, which is what we play when we come over to the field and just when we're over there and stuff like that. And then cheers, we learn a bunch of cheers. It's just a lot of memorization and a lot of learning how to march, which was not the easiest thing, but we got there. Here was the percussion section of the marching band, and we have the quints, we have cymbals, we have bass drums, and we have snares, and basically we're kind of like the core of the band. Cairo's nuts, on a real note. I love them, but it was one of those things that I walked into it knowing that they were kind of crazy, and I had heard some stories, but I walked out of there being what did I do? But I'm very glad to be there.
Something I learned at band camp, it's not fun to march more hours than you've slept that day.
Oh, no.
That was definitely a severe struggle.
Oh, and not bringing sunscreen when Fessler all of a sudden decides that we're going to march at the hottest point of the day, and Ben got burnt in the shape of his harness, and I've never laughed so much at him, and he was in pain, and I was just dying.
Oh, yeah.
Because he refused, by the way, Ben Lopez, he's a snare. He refused to wear a shirt the entirety of the week.
That was all the senior boys.
A lot of the senior boys.
Except for me. Except for me.
We literally walked in,
he
walked in, I think it was on Friday, and he just goes, I'm not even bringing a shirt. And I was like, awesome, solid. But no, so a lot of senior boys ended up not wearing shirts the majority of the week.
Oh, yeah.
Which was fun, but yeah, no, I didn't sleep a lot. Which I thought, I was you know what, I'll go to bed earlier, I won't go to all the nighttime activities, I'll get sleep. And then by the end of the week, I was oh, I got 3 hours of sleep every night, awesome. But I think you learn how to manage not sleeping, but still marching.
Putting in hard work and effort is really a valuable thing. Whatever you're going to do in your life, basically wherever you go, whether you want to be a doctor, or a scientist, or a teacher, or whatever. You're going to have to put in hard work, so that's what we did at band camp. We just put in a lot of hard work, and a lot came out of it, so we're excited to show you guys this season.
Yeah, the first show's going to be cool.
You wake up bright and early at 7 a.m.
Oh, my cabin
A lot of screaming.
My cabin mates woke us up, my one cabin mate woke up at 6 a.m. every day, and then proceeded to wake the rest of us up, and then I'd just end up clocking right back out. And they'd be like, Abby, wake up! I just wouldn't until 7:50, and then I'd be throwing everything together, trying to sprint to breakfast and get there on time.
But yeah, so we essentially wake up at 7. Breakfast is around 8 o'clock, and then we have marching at 9 to 11:30, but usually that would go till noon.
Mm-hmm. Fessler doesn't know time.
Fessler doesn't quite understand the concept of time. Then we'd all go to lunch, and then at noon we'd go to lunch, and then about 1 starts music rehearsal. We do that like 1
Yeah.
to 2:30, and then 2:30 to like 4 is sectionals, I think.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
basically
Yeah.
it's
And
basically
then-
where you just break up into your like sections. Like everybody in your instrument group comes together, and you basically just do your parts.
And so that's when you like pass all your music and stuff.
And at least for Cairo, we would have sectionals, and then we'd have individual sectionals within the sectionals, because we would like split up into our respective instruments within the big thing. But yeah, no, that's where we do music checks and stuff like that. And music checks are basically where you memorize the music and then you have to play it for your section leader, and then they say, "Hey, you know it, good job." And you're like, "Okay, thanks."
You get an A.
And if you don't, they're like, "You failed, try again." And I'm like, "Oh yay." But thankfully I only play the crash cymbals, so the memorization was quite simplistic.
Yeah. And then also in sectionals, we each have our own little sectional coach that is brought in from another marching band or someone who's done band in the past who's helping us out. And then after that, like 4 to 6 is free time. Like the only 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
And then 6 is dinner, 7 to 9 is marching again. And then after that, we usually have a band activity in the evening, whether it's like karaoke night, skate night, or something fun like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But your nights typically end up ending at like 11:30ish, and then you get back to your cabin, and my cabin was nuts, so they'd end up like talking till 1 a.m. and then you go to sleep and do it again.
It's a lot of fun, but also very, very exhausting.
Like, I got home at least and wiped out for like I took a nap, and then I woke up for like 2 hours enough to like eat and then put on pajamas and shower, and then I was out until like 1 o'clock the next day. I slept so much.
Band's often associated with like nerdy people who like can't
Geeks.
socialize.
I
But
mean-
honestly, this is probably one of the nicest groups of people I've ever been with. Like, whenever I'm with the band, I'm always smiling or laughing, or even if I'm a little upset from something else that happened, they're always making me feel better. So, I don't know if that's a misconception,
Yeah,
but
no, they typically get grouped in with a bunch of like geeks and stuff like that, and they're just not. It just like
To
at
be
least being
fair.
around them.
To be fair, I am a geek, so
There are some, I'm not like excluding it, but it pulls in a lot of groups of people. Like it pulls in people from a lot of different like groups per se. We have some football players, and we have some soccer players, and we have a lot of athletes that do things outside of the band, and it's just one of those things that we typically get grouped together as just like one thing, but we're a lot of other things, if that makes any sense.
Mhm.
yeah, like we work really hard at camp.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
More hours of the day, we're working hard to make sure our shows look awesome for the season, and we sound great rather than just chilling around.
Oh,
and doing
yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
I kind of walked into it my older sister's in the band, so I knew better than some, but I kind of walked into it not thinking that we were going to end up doing as much work, because I was like, we'll probably end up lazing around a lot of the day, but like the first full day hit, and I was just at the end of the day like, oh god, I have to wake up and do this again. It's just so much, but still worth it.
Yeah.
Because our show looks really, according to my mom, which like you can't always trust your mom's opinion.
Yeah.
According to my mom, the show looks really cool, and pregame looks good too. Right, I'm a freshman, so our cabin got hazed. No, we don't use that word
No.
They
because
weren't hazed,
Fessler
don't listen to them.
Traditions.
Fessler would like pass out if we bring up the word hazing. He was like, "Who got hazed?" And we were like, "Nobody." But so the sophomores basically asked us if they could come into our cabin and kind of mess it up a bit, and so I guess the theme was like beach themed
It
or
wasn't
whatever.
messing it up, it was decorating.
There were a few
We
things that were.
decorated your cabin last year.
Yeah, but the one thing is you guys put confetti everywhere,
Yeah.
and so the majority of my morning on the morning for the show was just spent sweeping up confetti and then
To be fair, we
sweeping
did
up
give them a
confetti.
trash bag, so they weren't mean. So.
No, they gave us a trash bag, which was fair, but you also gave us a bunch of balloons so that at 7 a.m. I was like, me and all my friends are like sitting on the floor, like trying to bite trying to quietly bite the balloons so that they don't pop and make a loud noise, and then we had to sweep up a whole heck of a lot of confetti, but it was fine. It was tradition, so we just kind of dealt with it, but we also, this was not my decision, but there are only 5 freshman girls, so I'm typically outnumbered on when they try and make bad decisions. But so the other 4 of them on like the second day, I think, she brought back a pancake from breakfast and then left it out all week until it got stale and hard. And then at the end of the week, they all signed the pancake and then forced me to sign the pancake. And then we left it at the freshman boys' door, and apparently that's now a thing that we're going to be doing, which is a health hazard, and we shouldn't, but you know what? It's not really my choice.
Band camp.
Band camp!
Yeah.
But really, I think a lot of the pranking just happens to the, hazing, happens to the freshmen, because the frosh. But
And at this point, it's not really hazing since like they say we're like they ask like the freshmen and they're okay.
no,
with
they
it.
totally ask us,
Yeah.
and they're like, you guys can say no, but like you can't say no. And then in the some group chat, they were like, no, that's hazing. And I was like, oh my god.
So we kind of we figured out that we had to do it after last year when the sophomores told us that we had to. So we just go to the dollar store and we just go kind of crazy and we buy a bunch of stuff and then we prepared for it before dinner that night, and then we go into their cabin while they're at dinner and we have a good time decorating it, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we promised never to do confetti for next year's freshmen because that was interesting to have to clean up.
Tell us.
For me, it was probably staying up until 3:30 in the morning making my junior shirts with the rest of the junior girls. That was a little bit of arguing, bit of yelling, but after we figured everything out, it was, in general, a really fun time. We were bringing up a ton of old inside jokes to put on our shirts, and that was definitely very nice. And then the senior serenade that we do every year, that's always something I like to remember. It's always something very emotional for the seniors.
So the senior serenade is where we so all of the girls practice songs for most of the week, and then we go down to the campfire and all of the boys are there, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, but they all stand.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Here's what you gotta realize. They're all standing in the dark, so you can barely see that they're there.
Yeah.
And we all
It's a little bit
hold
creepy,
candles
but,
in front of our faces. And I wasn't told what this was until I show up, and I just walk in and I was like, what is this? I'm gonna get killed. I didn't get killed, thank goodness.
It's definitely
It's a lot of
interesting,
fun,
but it
especially
means a
trying
lot.
to go down the stairs
Oh, yeah.
and up the stairs when it's pitch black.
I did trip and fall. I tripped and my candle smacked, and somehow it stayed lit, which
Oh yeah,
I was.
saw that.
Yeah.
That was you?
Yeah, nope.
Oh.
The tripping and falling was me, because I'm very clumsy anyways, and so walking down stairs that I didn't know were there in the dark was not good.
I think my favorite memory was probably karaoke night, sophomore year through senior year. Because sophomore year, that's what got me into making my own music in the first place. And basically, I've just been sort of semi-producing some music since then, as a hobby. And yeah, I basically rap Linkin Park at band camp. So yeah, that's kind of fun.
For me, it's kind of not a specific memory, more as just a string of. There are these little things that Kara sometimes does after practice is over, nighttime marching practice is over, and some of those just ended, and I was just either laughing or I thought I had just almost died, which I had, but it was just one of those things that the community of it all really kind of made me just want to go back.
2, 3. Come see the UAMB!
Oh, running!